Hi everyone! Today we are talking about oatmeal, specifically addressing the question, is oatmeal bad for us and should we avoid eating oats? As a long-time oatmeal lover, I was quite surprised when I heard some people suggesting that it might not be good for us. It made me wonder if there is something I've been missing. First up is the claim that oatmeal doesn't help control blood glucose. It was argued that studies only measure blood glucose level right after the meal, not later on. But I mean, why would you want to do it 3-4 hours later? Anyone familiar with diabetes and blood glucose monitoring knows that we typically check blood glucose sugar about 2 hours after meals because that's when we can assess the food's impact on the blood sugar. If blood sugar is low after 2 hours, it won't suddenly spike 4 hours later due to that meal. While glucose level can fluctuate throughout the day, it's not because of something you ate hours earlier. Now let me say that delayed or prolonged hyperglycemia can occur with certain circumstances, like certain medical conditions, high fat intake, exercise, or specific hormones. They all can do that. But if that's the case, the individual will experience the elevated blood glucose hours after the meals with every carbohydrate meal, not only with oatmeal. In fact, oatmeal is a low glycemic food, with steel-cut oats having glycemic index of just around 55. The glycemic index is a ranking system that measures how quickly carbohydrate-containing food raises your blood sugar level. Foods with a low glycemic index, which is 55 or less, cause a slower, more gradual rise in blood sugar level, while high glycemic index foods, which is more than 70, leads to very rapid spikes of blood sugar levels. Now it's important to differentiate between various types of oats and their effect on blood sugar. Instant oats have high glycemic index, just around 79, which means they can cause a faster rise in the blood sugar level compared to the steel-cut oats. The higher glycemic index is due to the processing of the instant oats, which breaks down the grains, making them quicker to cook but also easier to digest. Unfortunately, this can lead to faster impact on blood sugar levels. So if you are a pre-diabetic or already have a diabetes, or for whatever other reason monitoring of glucose level is important for you, you may want to pick the steel-cut oats. It's also important to consider the difference between sugar-free instant oatmeal and instant oatmeal with added sugar. The sugar-free instant oatmeal is simply oats that has been processed for faster cooking without any added sweeteners. While the glycemic index is higher than steel-cut oats, it is still lower than the instant oatmeal with added sugar. Now, the added sugar in flavored instant oatmeal varieties can cause even more rapid sugar spikes due to the additional carbohydrates from the sweeteners. The main reason we are talking about this glycemic index is because eating high glycemic index foods regularly can be problematic for people with diabetes or those trying to manage their blood sugar level. But I can't stress it enough that the glycemic index can vary between individuals, since factors like genetics, metabolism, and insulin sensitivity can influence how your body responds to different foods. If you need to monitor your blood sugar, it's really important to find out how you react to various types of oats and adjust your diet accordingly. So again, steel-cut oats are best choice for low glycemic index oatmeal options, while sugar-free instant oats can be a convenient alternative with a slightly higher glycemic index. And if you are concerned about your blood sugar levels, you should definitely avoid the flavored instant oatmeal with added sugar. The second argument against oatmeal is its avenine content. Avenine is a protein similar to gluten, and the argument is that because of this similarity, avenine could also trigger autoimmune reactions, just like gluten does in people with celiac disease. But you know, comparing gluten and avenine is like comparing cats and dogs. They are both pets, but if someone is allergic to cats, they won't necessarily be allergic to dogs. Well, obviously, unless they are allergic to both cats and dogs. So while avenine is a protein similar to gluten and shares structural resemblance to gluten, it's generally considered safe for people with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity. That has been well studied and documented. It is also worth noting that avenine makes up only a small percentage of the protein content in oats, and it doesn't have the same impact on immune system as gluten does. Gluten is known to cause an autoimmune response in those with celiac disease because it damages the small intestine's lining and leads to malabsorption of nutrients. Avenin, on the other hand, does not typically provoke this response. However, some people claim that avenin also causes delayed inflammation, particularly in individuals with celiac disease. Now, I'm not saying that there is not a small subset of celiac patients that may react adversely to avenin, but this is relatively rare. In most cases where celiac patients experience worsened symptoms after eating oatmeal, it's usually due to the gluten contamination during processing, handling, or transportation. To avoid this issue, we can choose certified gluten-free oats, which ensure that they haven't been exposed to gluten-containing grains. Beyond this, oatmeal has numerous health benefits, particularly for the gut health. Oatmeal has high soluble fiber content, especially a type of fiber called beta-glucan. Beta-glucans act as prebiotic. Prebiotics are non-digestible food components that serves as a food for the beneficial bacteria in the gut, which promotes their growth. Having healthy bacteria in our guts is like hosting a party for microscopic superheroes. These healthy champions help to maintain a balanced ecosystem in our digestive system. Healthy gut microbiome is essential for various aspects of our well-being, including the immune function, nutrient absorption, and even being in a good mood. So let's keep our tiny guests happy and thriving. Now finally, we come to the most absurd argument: avoiding oatmeal due to the glyphosate contamination. I mean, come on. Glyphosate is a widely used herbicide, and some have linked it to cancer cases, particularly non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. The main controversy around glyphosate comes from the conflicting opinions among regulatory agencies and scientific studies on its potential health effect. Now, while it's true that traces of pesticides, including glyphosate, can be found in non-organic foods, you have to realize that this applies to almost everything we eat. It's important to put the risk in context. Now, we can argue all day long if the amounts of glyphosate detected in oatmeal and other foods is safe by the established safety limits determined by the regulatory agencies, but that is not the point. It's understandable to be concerned about pesticides exposure, but if that's your concern, don't single out only one food. There are ways to reduce your exposure to pesticide. You have a couple options. You can buy organic food which is grown without synthetic pesticides, so choosing organic oats can help you minimize the exposure to glyphosate. But keep in mind that organic farming may still use natural pesticides, which could have health implications, although the risks are generally considered to be lower. You can also consult the Environmental Working Group's EWG, the Dirty Dozen list. This list is updated annually and ranks the 12 fruits and vegetables with the highest pesticides residue. By avoiding or choosing organic versions of these foods, you can reduce your overall exposure to pesticides. While oats are not typically listed in the Dirty Dozen, the EWG has also published test results on glyphosate in various oats-based products. You can use this information to make more informed choices when buying oats. So should you avoid oatmeal? Absolutely not. If you are someone who is concerned about blood sugar, you can choose steel-cut oats with a lower glycemic index. Are you worried about pesticides? Choose organic oats. Remember that variety is key to balanced diet, and including variety of foods can help you avoid excessive exposure to any single chemical.